Well, welcome, Commissioner. I know you were able to get a tour of the new look Jazz. What are your thoughts on the renovations here?
It's fantastic. I not only got the tour of the arena, but the practice facility as well, which I hadn't seen before. It's spectacular. I mean, you hear state of the art all the time. I think this is state of the art plus. I mean, I saw things that I think I signed some secret document that I'm not allowed to tell all the advanced equipment they have in their locker room. But I mean, there's something that's keeping these players so healthy, and they've got just about everything in there. And as I was stiffly walking through there, I thought maybe I could stop for a massage and some other things. But no, the practice facility is great, and this arena, I was here when it opened in the early 90s, and I wouldn't have recognized it. I mean, I think they took the bones of a great old arena and then with some great ingenuity, resources, money, and made it brand new. And it's great to see these clubs and these amenities. It's really wonderful.
Well, with all the new changes here, the arena renovations, and just the city itself, how strong do you feel about the Jazz's recent bid to host another All-Star weekend?
You know, I love it here, and I've got to be impartial, but I know we're going to be back here at some point. I was here in '93 for the last All-Star game. It's a wonderful market. It's a place that I know our fans love coming to, our business partners and the players, and whether it's for the skiing or just the great restaurants or everything else, people love to be here. So, you know, and it's also the Miller family. I mean, they're some of you know, the longest standing and strongest ownership groups in the league. So we want to reward that as well. So I can't say precisely what year a bunch of teams are bidding, but we'll be back for All-Star.
Well, I love that. Love to hear that. And also, let's talk about just the exciting rookie class. One of them, Donovan Mitchell. How about him?
You know, I have to say, I mean, I've been at the league a long time, and it's hard to make predictions about greatness, but here you have this player just doing it in every possible way. I mean, not just on the floor, but obviously a charismatic, charming young guy. He's really embraced this community. The community has embraced him. Had a nice time at All-Star Weekend. It was wonderful to see him, you know, sort of doing what he does out there. And it's like I said, I think these players in this day and age, they come from everywhere. I mean, whether, you know, influx of number of international players, many of whom, you know, have been successful on your team, and then to see Donovan doing the kinds of things he's doing, it's just great. I mean, it makes all of our jobs that much easier. But ultimately, that's what it's about. These great young men. And
you mentioned All-Star Weekend. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell taking home the dunk contest trophy there. But also wanted to ask you, the officials and the players had an opportunity to meet that weekend. Any progress there in terms of building the communication and the relationship between the two?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I thought that meeting was arranged by the Players Association together with the officials union. And to me, I thought that said a lot, that two of the major stakeholders in the league thought, let's take the time, get together, and try to talk through our differences. So I thought just the fact that they were having that meeting was a sign of progress. But on top of that, you know, we recently took Monty McCutcheon off the floor, our top-rated official, put him in charge of training officials. So while it's a little bit of a loss on the floor, I think that we're already seeing dividends there, that he's out. He's not only meeting, of course, with all the officials in the league, but he's conducting meetings with all the teams in the league together with working officials just to build those relationships. And so the players understand, the officials understand that they've got to build off, you know, they've got incredibly difficult jobs, but they can build on those relationships with empathy and understanding, and everybody's trying to get the job done. So I know we're going to make progress there, and we already have made a fair amount of progress.
There's been a lot of conversation as well about the playoff format and possibly tweaking it. You mentioned that at All-Star Weekend. Where are you guys at in terms of those discussions?
They are just that right now, discussions. And I'll say, the problem is that there's not an easy fix, at least right now, because we have two geographical conferences, obviously West and East, and we have an unbalanced schedule. And West teams, as you know, play teams in the West more than they play teams in the East. And if you're going to seed 1 through 16, not everyone agrees with this, but at least I feel then you need a balanced schedule. It wouldn't be fair in an unbalanced schedule because a team had inferior competition but had more wins to then put them ahead of a team that had a tougher schedule. So that's number one problem in reseeding 1 through 16, you know, across conference. The second issue is travel. And travel is a big deal in that if you had a first round series and you had team, for example, if you had Portland playing Miami or LA playing New York, crisscrossing the country is a big deal. And the more we study it, the more we're learning about the impact of travel on the players' bodies. I mean, I know you travel a lot for the team, and I do too, but we're not running up and down on the court.
Right.
And you know, it just, as you get older, it impacts your sleep cycles, you know, and we do know there's a correlation between fatigue and injury. So I don't want to solve one problem and then create yet an even bigger problem by increasing the number of injuries. So we're looking at it, just the honest answer is like, there's not an easy fix.
And speaking of the travel, introducing the new schedule to cut back on the back-to-backs, how do you feel it's done so far, and how would you evaluate it?
Well, that's a great point. And so reseeding 1 through 16 would take us in the opposite direction in terms of travel. What we did this season is we added a full additional week, same number of games, just to allow for more rest for the players. So we've significantly cut down the back-to-backs. We've eliminated the 4 games out of 5 nights, and I think it's made a big difference. When I've talked to players around the league, to coaches, the players, they got more energy in their legs. I know, just the fan of me, we're seeing better competition. I mean, and it's clear, you know, unfortunately, we're not at the point we can eliminate all back-to-backs, and you can see it, the team that's playing, you know, the second game of the back-to-back, that their legs are a little bit more tired, and I think that sometimes, you know, for fans or people who haven't played the game at this level, it seems like it's not that big a deal. These are the best athletes in the world, but it's outside of their control. The fatigue just has an impact on their muscles. So, you know, in addition to all the great things they're doing at the practice, at the training facility here, we're still looking at tweaking the schedule. Like, what can we do still to make the competition that much better night in and night out?
Well, there's a lot of exciting things going on in the league right now. I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us.
Yeah, my
Thank you,
pleasure. It's
Commissioner.
great to be here. Thank you.